A wedding for the ages, main character deaths, a global fight to finally vanquish Vecna. There are plenty of possibilities for the Duffer Brothers to hit us hard with all the feels as Stranger Things hurtles towards an epic conclusion. Here are our biggest predictions for Season 5. Max was put through the ringer during the entire run of Season 4. When she wasn't grappling with Billy's heroic death from the previous season, she was dodging Vecna's hypnotic grip and trying to outrun her depression. In the Season 4 finale, she meets a pretty grim fate. She dies for a whole minute before Elle rescues her from the pit of hell. However, she's thrust into a coma and left with 4 broken limbs and no eyesight. Season 5 presents an opportunity for Max, once riddled with nothing but pain in her life, to be a beacon of hope. The story is likely to get even worse before it gets better. Max will be a turning point in the story. She'll awaken from her deep coma, and that'll be enough to inspire the group to push harder to defeat Vecna and destroy the Upside Down entirely. For everything she's been through, Max is likely to undergo a full recovery so she can rekindle her romance with Lucas. They are surely owed a happy ending. The Duffer Brothers have been planting the seed of Will's sexuality since Season 1. Joyce refers to him as being a little sensitive in a conversation with Hopper. Later, Will grows frustrated over his best friend's burgeoning love lives, and Mike shouts after him,
"It's not my fault you don't like girls."
Such queer-coded subtext is not too surprising given the 1980s and prevalent gay panic of the AIDS epidemic. Even Robin is worried about confessing her feelings to a crush, as it might lead her to become a pariah in the small middle American community. But it's time. It's long overdue for Will to have his proper coming-out moment. During Season 4, he all but said the words when speaking with Mike about Elle and their rocky relationship. Will makes explicit notes about how being different can lead you to feel like a mistake as he holds back a flood of tears. Mike has always been a bit oblivious, so he clearly did not pick up on the clues. Someone else did, though. Being the compassionate older brother, Jonathan caught the subtext and later pulled Will into an intimate conversation, in which he revealed that nothing could make him love his little brother any less.
I don't want you to forget that I'm here. And I'll always be here.
Again, it was subtle confirmation, but LGBTQ+ fans deserve an outright confession. In an interview with Collider, Matt Duffer teased that Schnapp's character will have a central role in the upcoming 5th installment. He explained, "We're starting to see Will's coming of age, really, which has been challenging for a number of reasons, some of which are supernatural, but you're starting to see him come into his own." Queer representation in the 80s, especially in horror and sci-fi movies and television, was rare. Stranger Things could really do something special by allowing a queer character to take charge and survive to tell the tale. In the same Collider conversation, the Duffer Brothers stressed that a couple of the character arcs will circle back to the first season and finally see some resolution. That includes the Jonathan-Nancy-Steve love triangle. A social outcast far removed from the high school hierarchy, Jonathan largely stood on the sidelines in the first season. Nancy and Steve had a flirtatious but distanced relationship and didn't officially hook up until the infamous party at which Nancy's BFF Barb bit the big one. Jonathan's jealousy would later fester and boil over after Steve called Nancy a slut, leading to an intense physical altercation. It's not until Season 2 that Steve and Nancy officially break up. Feeling empathy for her dead friend, Jonathan offers to help Nancy get justice for Barb. The two grow closer and more intimate throughout the season and eventually become an item. Truth be told, Jonathan and Nancy's relationship has run its course. Of course, the distance separating them could have something to do with it. In Season 4, the two never shared an on-screen moment until the finale. However, Nancy and Steve have been able to reconnect and share intimate dreams and ambitions, namely Steve's wish to have a big family.
I'm talking like a full brood of Harringtons, like 5, 6 kids.
6?
Yeah, 6 little nuggets.
Judging by the Duffers' teaser, they are likely destined to get back together, and we wouldn't be mad about it. Robin suffers from unrequited love for most of her run on the show so far. Of course, as a young queer woman in nowhere, Indiana, publicly coming out is not an easy decision. She confides in Steve during Season 3 that she does not have feelings for him, but instead harbors a secret crush on another female classmate.
Tammy Thompson. I wanted her to look at me.
Her gaze later falls upon a girl named Vicky, a Molly Ringwald knockoff in the high school marching band. From brief interactions, we surmise they have quite a kindred spirit, at least in the friendship zone. Robin's heart is crushed when she discovers Vicky has a boyfriend and witnesses them locking lips in Season 4. In the finale, Robin and Vicky do share a quiet moment, making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for Hawkins' residents, now thrown into chaos after a so-called earthquake. They make a magnetic duo. It's really heartwarming. It's enough of an indication Vicky could very well be bisexual. Is it too much to hope for Robin and Vicky to hook up in the final season? Fingers crossed. You're probably sensing a theme in these predictions. Season 5 should be about love in all its forms: self-love, platonic love between friends, and heart-swelling romance. This leads us to Joyce and Hopper, who got it on quite hot and heavy in Season 4. Their lives have been wrought with pain and heartache, and they've bonded over shared traumas. In the upcoming season, let's hope they can put all their sorrow to bed and be happy for once. This is a bold prediction, but it's time for them to tie the knot. While the season's central storyline is obviously to be determined, might we suggest a build-up to the wedding of the century for the series finale? The Mind Flayer and Vecna will be central to the overall narrative, of course, but allowing the characters to have something truly hopeful to look forward to is exactly what this show needs. Stranger Things thrives on its strong cast delivering emotional beats and epic story moments. With Season 4 in the rearview, let's be real. The Duffer Brothers are scared to kill off core characters. Millie Bobby Brown recently called out the creative team as sensitive Sallies for not pulling the trigger. The show skirts around this issue by introducing fascinating and complex side characters like Bob and Eddie, and then slaughtering them upon the upside-down altar.
I didn't run away this time, right?
As an ancient proverb states, it's always the darkest before the dawn. Season 5 is expected to not be nearly as long in terms of episode runtimes, and that allows for a tighter, faster-paced story. Give us a few 1-2 sucker punches, like an actual big character death, maybe Jonathan or Mike, alongside prominent secondary characters like Murray, and let the chips fall where they may. It'll hurt, but that hurt can propel the remaining characters to finally put an end to Vecna and the Mind Flayer for good. It's time.
Who's gonna die? Elle, who's gonna die?
As we learned in Season 4, Elle and Vecna have a lot in common. They both possess an ungodly amount of power and are true adversaries of one another.
You're right. You and I, we are different.
With the climactic season finale, it's hard to imagine what Elle could do next to end Vecna and save humanity once and for all. Well, except maybe the only option left, the ultimate sacrifice. Perhaps Vecna can only be defeated with Elle's death. That would certainly put more weight behind the last season. Of course, given the fact the creators haven't killed off a main character in the show's run, it's maybe a far-fetched idea. Or is it? Throughout the series, Elle has questioned whether she's a monster or not. From meeting her long-lost sister Kali to confronting Dr. Brenner, her moral center has always been up for debate. During Season 4, the Duffer Brothers led us to believe she was responsible for the massacre at Hawkins' lab, suggesting that Elle is harboring some unruly darkness in her soul. It all started with Elle and One, and it needs to end with them. A different route would be for Elle to give up her powers for good. That could very well supply the finale with a decent amount of emotion to close the book. She gives up her powers, and her sacrifice is enough to destroy Vecna and everything in the Upside Down. It just might work. Hawkins is now a shell of its former self. In the Season 4 finale, most of the town's residents flee the city limits. After everything that has happened, a catastrophic earthquake wakes everyone up to the fact that it's no longer safe to stay. The Duffers have teased the show might stay put in Indiana, which doesn't quite make much sense at this point. In the very last shot of the Season 4 finale, the characters look upon an apocalyptic scene. Swirling red clouds hang over the town, and an army helicopter can be seen soaring in the distance. Realistically, the group would likely be fractured around the country. Hopper would move to be with Joyce. Elle, Will, and Jonathan would wind up in California. Lucas and Erica may stick around in another part of the state along with Max's mother. Max would understandably be transported to another area hospital just to be safe. Permanently closed, Hawkins is a disaster zone, and there's not much left there to save anyway. With the characters scattered around the country, there are even greater possibilities for the last season. Matt Duffer teased, "We want to go back to a lot of the things we did in Season 1, a lot of the original groupings and pairings that we had in Season 1. There's something nice about coming full circle." If done correctly, staying anchored in Hawkins could work, or it could simply be a tired retread of the past 4 seasons. Ross Duffer recently teased the likelihood of a time jump for Season 5. Depending on the time lapse between seasons, a time jump not only allows the show to catch up with the actors' ages, but unlocks potential for the story in the final stretch. What does this mean for the core cast? If we say the time jump is 2 or 3 years, Mike, Will, Lucas, Dustin, and Elle could be seniors in high school, at the very least. A time jump would also indicate Nancy would be well into her college studies, leaving her romance with Jonathan in question. As an investigative journalist, Nancy could be studying criminal psychology and media while considering her conversation with Victor Creel in Season 4. For the adults, nothing much would change. Joyce is still hawking encyclopedias, Hopper has taken a police job in California, and Murray has returned to his career as an investigative journalist. This last prediction involves Vecna. With the massive 4-direction gate open in Hawkins, he now sets his sights on dominating the world. His ultimate plan has yet to be explored or even hinted at, so all bets are off. Considering Season 5 will likely include a time jump of some sort, Vecna likely lulls everyone into a false sense of security before unleashing the ultimate apocalyptic takeover.
Before I kill you, I want you to watch.
In line with previous mind control tricks, Vecna could exact a plot, a la Invasion of the Body Snatchers, wherein he splits himself into parts and possesses Indiana residents who then venture out into the world to infect others. Bit by bit, he would transform humanity into human-creature hybrids to return the world to what he's described as an existence untouched by human destruction. When the time is right, Demodogs, Demogorgons, and countless other unknown creatures would emerge from the gate. That would certainly take the last season up a notch and catapult the story into the national or even global arena. Go big or go home. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more SlashFilm videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.